Are there three things that you can think of that agents can do to get some effective marketing out there on social media?
Start interviewing your vendor the day their property's sold while excitement is high and they're pumped on an Instagram live. The second thing I want to say is,
What should a stage one agent be doing?
more than 50% of your day should be spent in prospecting. If you don't like that word, change it to reaching out, because I know that some people have got this negative connotation towards prospecting. It's interrupting strangers who don't want to talk to you, which unfortunately, that's what it's going to be like in the first 2 years.
Oh, what should I start with? An admin person or a prospector?
Okay, so Dan, there is no 100% answer, and I'll tell you why.
Agents, welcome to the Get Keen podcast, your number one destination for learning how to get the most out of your real estate career. I'm Dan Lee, founder of Plum Property, one of Queensland's largest independent real estate offices, and Plum Partners, where we've helped dozens of agents create, run and grow their very own agencies. On Get Keen, I chat to high-performing agents, principals, and agency owners, so you have the tools, strategies, and insights to grow your business and live the best life for yourself and your family. Now let's get keen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Get Keen podcast, baby. Yeah, I feel good today because we have the one, the only, the number one real estate coach, mentor, trainer in Australia with us today. Well, this is a treat. You are in store for a good one here, folks. No matter what position you are in real estate, whether you're in it for the first 6 months or it's your 10th year in real estate, you're going to get some value out of this episode. And that's what we want to bring to you, real estate agents. Great value to enhance and further your careers at no matter what stage you're at. That's what the Get Keen podcast is all about. So let me introduce our special guest today. You know him. You've seen him all over your social media. He's there all the time. He's always doing stuff. This guy travels about 361 of 365 days a year, traveling around Australia and New Zealand, telling people what's going on in the neighborhood, how to do their scripts and dialogues. He is known as the king of scripts and dialogues, Mr. Tom Panos. Welcome to the show.
Dan Lee, I'm pumped to be with you. I was with you this morning with your wonderful Plum Partners where we did a great session, and I'm pumped to have this conversation with you.
What I love about Tom is his energy. He comes in, he meets me at the door. Hello, Dan, you ready to go? We're good to go. He gets upstairs, and man, when the session starts, boom, the energy comes out. He just captures the room. His change of tone, his clear message, mate. He just grabs he sucks the attention out of everyone in the room. There's no one sleeping in a Tom session training. It was absolutely awesome. Thanks for coming.
Pleasure.
Tom, we were talking earlier about the three types of agents. Agents go through different stages of their career. And I'd love for you to expand on it to the audience, because there are agents, a lot of agents that listen to this, and they're all at various stages of the career. Some are in their first 2 years. What do I do to get off the ground? Some are, a few years in and they've got some momentum and they're trying to find a way to crack through to that next level. And then you've got your really experienced agents that are 4, 5, 6 years or more in with teams and big market share, and they're just trying to figure out how to do even better and just how to maximize the profile they've already built. I'm guessing those are the three types of agents that you wanted to sort of expand on today.
Dan, you're spot on. And I give them labels, right? You could easily turn around. My labels is emerging. They've emerged onto the scene.
Yeah.
Like Blake, comes out of telecommunications. He's a real estate agent 5 weeks in. Then you got one of your other partners, Richard Bolton, and he would be in growth phase. He's really smashing it, but he's also heading to the next level. And the next level is Pinnacle. And Pinnacle is where you would have been in your last year, where you're listing and just selling, right? Where you're on the shopping list. You dominate on REA. You're in letterboxes. You're on social like you. So essentially, you're going to be getting appraisals because you've earned that right, and you probably have got a team behind you. So they are the three categories. So I'll repeat them. You've got your emerging agent, you got your growth agent, and you got your pinnacle agent. And an emerging agent should not be doing what a pinnacle agent does, because a pinnacle agent does not have to do a lot of cold, uncomfortable chase work, right? They've got to worry about their team members. They've got to be recruiting. And then a growth agent, hey, listen, they've learned the basics. They don't need to learn, oh, this is the 6 questions you ask the buyer. They've gone past that. For them, it's the ability to try and keep doing 5 deals every month, and it's the ability to actually make sure that their assistant is doing the right stuff. So they're the 3 categories.
Okay, awesome. Well, listen up. If you're in stage 1, let's talk about that for 5 to 10 minutes. What should a stage 1 agent be doing? I'm Joe Blow, the brand new real estate keen as agent on the scene. What am I doing in my first 6 months?
The first 6 months, you're going to sit through the Plum Property Academy in training and absorb every bit of information. And there are 4 main subjects. There is prospecting, there is the listing presentation, there is buyer management, and there is vendor management. These 4 basic fundamentals, you will have to nail those. Pretend that you've just entered year 12 and you're doing English, history, chemistry, and physics. They're your 4 subjects. Nail them, learn them inside out.
Absolutely. You got to know what to say, how to say it. But let's go back even another step, because this brand new agent in their first 6 months, you're saying seller management, buyer management. There's no management if there's no listings.
Correct.
So how much time should they be spending on that other stuff in the beginning, the prospecting, the getting to know, and what sort of things should they be doing?
Okay, so the learning is the absence of learning won't, like learning that stuff will not make you successful, but the absence of learning it means it's unlikely you'll get past year 1. The main thing that you'll be doing, more than 50% of your day should be spent in prospecting. If you don't like that word, change it to reaching out, because I know that some people have got this negative connotation towards prospecting. Yeah. It's interrupting strangers who don't want to talk to you, which unfortunately, that's what it's going to be like in the first 2 years, right? So I would probably say 4 to 5 hours every day.
4 to 5 hours.
And we're going to go over the activities in a second.
Hardcore prospecting. And that's what it takes, right? And we were talking about why agents avoid doing this. It's because they don't like getting knocked down. They can't handle the hard days. They only expect, if they don't go in and make 100 calls and just get absolute positivity, then they don't do it. They don't get instant reward.
Correct.
Right? I'm telling you, there's no instant rewards from prospecting. In my whole career of selling in 15 years, I can tell you I made over 120,000 cold calls. And there were 2 times in my entire career where I actually called someone and they happened to say, oh, thank God you called. I'm actually thinking of selling. Can you come over tomorrow and talk about it? So put that into a percentage. It's like a 0.0001% chance that kind of thing is going to happen. What we're prospecting for is for the future business of whenever that could happen. Yeah. So you talk with so many agents. What do you see when you see an agent go from like 0 to hero really quickly? How much prospecting are they doing?
Okay. I would probably say they're doing 2 hours of telephone work, and that telephone work is probably between 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. And those phone calls are most likely to have not mets. And what you're doing is you're calling people and you're giving them information on just listed, just sold, anniversary calls, expired listing calls. Oh, we have a buyer call, general news. Hey, the Reserve Bank met. This is what it means for you as a vendor as a result of that decision. And then in the afternoon, they're probably, Dan, doing 2 hours of door knocking. And the door knocking might be, hey, one of our agents is doing an appraisal for your neighbour this afternoon. I wanted to let you know they're going to be here. While they're going to be here, would you like us to flick your report on your property? They'll be doing the just listed, just sold. So that'll be there. So you're probably looking, there's 4 hours there alone, right? And then I'm taking another hour or so where you're brainwashing all the people from your past life. Like Blake's past life from Plum Properties was telecommunications. He's got to brainwash all his old Optus workers. He's got to brainwash all his old soccer mates, all the people he went to school with, Aunt Madge, Uncle Bob. Hey, I do not work for Optus anymore. I am a real estate agent. So he's working on the grapevine, and everyone's got 200 people in their life, right? So he's working on those. So essentially half the day. What else is there to do? Like, you're not got any vendor meetings.
There's nothing to do. That's really all they should be doing. It's 4 or 5 hours of prospecting and trying to build some sort of relationship, and the rest of the time is creating the reports and getting the information out to those people, and repeat and repeat and repeat, and build a contact database of people that know who you are, they know where to find you, they know what you do, and you've now done something for them. So now you're memorable. Now you're on the shopping list. And then it's repetitive keeping in contact with those people. And eventually, it should take 3 to 6 months for someone who does that solidly every day to start getting a couple of listings, and then another 6 months to say, well, I'm probably past the hardest part of this job now. But many people don't make it to that part. But for those that do and those that get past that, right, and now they've been doing it a couple of years, or let's say a year and a half, 2 years, they've got 5, 6 listings, they're still on their own, or maybe they're starting to get an associate. That's what you would call the emerging agent?
I think an emerging agent is, an emerging agent to me is an agent in those first 2 years. They've emerged onto the scene, right? I think after the 2 years, Dan, realistically, when you get to a position of consistently, like in 4 months in a row, are doing at least 3 sales a month, it's essentially saying, hang on a second here. Now I need to process stock. I need to actually have vendor meetings. I do get called out to listing presentations. I do my opens. I do my callbacks. This is all getting a little bit busy now, right? So in the early stages, you're not that busy. You've hardly got any appointments. Now all of a sudden, you got to list properties, you got to sell them, but you got to look for your next listings as well, right? And you got to market it, and it just gets a little bit more busier than the start. And that's when you start saying to yourself, hey, the pilot doesn't serve drinks on a plane. He's got a flight attendant. Am I going to need a flight attendant for my real estate work?
Yeah, exactly. And that's the big problem in real estate, is going up and down. Agents get busy listing, and then they get busy selling. And when they've sold it all, they've got no listings, so they're busy chasing again, and they're building listings, and it's just not consistent. And it's a stressful way to be, which is why you need to have help and a consistent prospecting plan. So what should an agent who's at this stage, where they're quite busy, what's the step for them to get to that? I often see agents they get stuck around 400 to 600 grand GCI, and everyone wants to do $1 million or more. What are some of the key strategies for agents to get past that level?
Okay, so if you could just picture, and those that are watching and listening to this, if you could just picture that I've got 2 columns. One is lead agent, that's the agent, and the other column is, let's call it an assistant, let's call it an associate. The lead agent must be doing then the following. They must be doing their warm prospecting. They're calling people that they have met, or people they have their details in their CRM system. They're probably doing lots of listing presentations. They're looking after their current vendors that they've got, and they're doing all the buyer work. The other person that they bring in is going to help them get rid of the following duties: admin, marketing, cold buyers, cold prospecting, final inspections before settlement, pest inspections, building inspections, running around and putting a soul buy up, right? All this sort of stuff that seems to get done that takes that lead agent away from, hey, I haven't done those 20 warm calls I should be doing, but I can't. I've got to go do that. It gets rid of that. And look, there are no excuses these days because 80% of those activities can be done through outsourcing and offshoring. You know, Wingman is one organization that we both use. But even if it's not Wingman, even if you go onshore, at some point you've got to start realizing if I don't get a PA, I am the PA, right? So the main agent at that point should continue be doing the prospecting, but it won't be cold prospecting. It'll be warm prospecting. It'll be smart prospecting. It'll be people that want to hear from you. And it'll be people that are aware of you. And life is getting better then, Daniel, because you're not calling people like you're a Manila call center where it's a predictable answer. No, not selling, not interested, buy. It's not going to be that, right? It's going to be a lot more warmer calls.
It's a lot easier when it's warmer, and that's why a lot of people struggle at the start because all the calls are cold, and they're people that have never heard from you, have no relationship with you. And that is harder because you have to take a lot more rejection and be able to get knocked down and get back up and just keep going. Whereas warm calls, there's not a lot of rejection around that, and they're easy.
So let me show you a cold call. Hi, it's Tom Panos here from Plum Property. I'm just calling to see whether you'd be interested in getting a market opinion. Right? That's cold.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm not interested.
Not interested.
No,
okay.
Cheers, mate.
Let's do a warm call. I'll do it with you. Hey, can I speak to Daniel?
Speaking.
Daniel, it's Tom Panos. How you going?
Tom. Yeah, the real estate.
Yeah. Listen, I know you're busy and I know you're not selling and I'm going to be really brief and I know that now is not the time in terms of timing for you. I did come and see you 6 months ago, right? Look, last night we sold a home and it was a race between two buyers. The one that missed out on it has left our room really, really upset. I want to let you know the home that sold was actually very similar to yours. I actually think this buyer that missed out would probably buy your home. But I know your timing's not right. But the only reason I've called you is they're going to pay overs. They're called a heart buyer that's going to pay 10%. You were telling me you were going to put it on the market like in the middle of next year. Like, would it be worth our time and would I be wasting my time mentioning your home to them?
Probably not, Tom. We just wouldn't be ready to sell. But I really appreciate you thinking of me. And mate, when we are gonna sell, I'll give you a ring, and because I'd be interested in knowing, you know, what your process is.
Dan, can I ask you, what did you think of that one down the road? Did you see it? The one that sold, it was the other agent with that yellow. I can't remember which one actually had it, but it did get sold a few days ago. Do you see the one? The sold by's gone up.
I know the one you're talking about, yeah.
Do you know what it sold for? You don't know?
I don't know what it sold for.
678.
Oh, okay.
What'd you think?
Yeah, it's about what I thought it might go for.
Yeah.
Around the 650 to 670.
Do you reckon your place, like you know the house I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know the one.
Do you think yours is superior or inferior to that one?
I think it's better than that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think so too. I think it's on the corner. Some people like the corner, but the way it looks on the outside, when I compare yours to that, yours is a lot more appealing.
Hey guys, just quickly, if you're loving this content and you're a real estate agent that's already thinking what it might be like to have your own real estate business and brand, then check out the show notes. There'll be a link to our Plum Partners website where you can leave an inquiry and me or one of my team members will reach out. We help agents to create, run, and grow their own real estate business and brand so they can earn more and set up a better future for themselves. So get keen, get in touch. Now let's get back to the episode.
And what's the plan for the holidays?
Oh, mate, just going with the family to Noosa, actually.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Love it.
Now, I want to just ask you, when I ring you up and give you just sold or just listed information, I'm not being a pain, am I? I'm hoping that it's
mate,
yeah, it's all
fine.
good?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, man, because the last thing I want to do is come across as being one of these people that's got commission breath. I'm here to give you information and I'm happy for you to do the right thing by your family by me giving you information. And when you're ready, I'm a phone call away.
Oh, I appreciate you like keeping me in touch with the market. I do like the information. Cheers.
Okay. Isn't that that's a nice call?
That's a nice call.
Right? That's a
Yeah.
nice call. They're the calls after in
Yeah,
your life.
but you don't get that call until you've broken the cold call. So the first time you call that guy, he doesn't know you.
Yeah, because did you
And-
see what you said to me? Oh, Tom, the agent.
Yeah.
You couldn't say that to me.
And
if
you
it was a
said,
cold
I
call.
knew that I did that appraisal for you 6 months ago. So because I know who you are, you've done something for me, we have a small relationship. And that tiny relationship turns that from cold to warm and makes every phone call to that person from then on forever easy.
100%.
Yeah.
And Dan, I want your viewers and listeners to see how I really put the brakes on when you said, I'm not ready. I put the brakes on. I don't sit there and try and say, I know there's a lot of educators and a lot of franchise networks and a lot of real estate trainers that say, oh no, every time you make a call, try and get an appointment. And if you can't get an appointment, try and progress it, move it forward, right? Get real.
Yeah.
If there's one way I'm going to absolutely get you not to want to deal with me or not take my next phone call is when I corner you and I pester you. But what's there to lose if I mention your home? And what if we do a 4 or 5 months long settlement? And what if we do all of this, mate? People don't want that. Aussies don't like that, right? Just work at people at their own pace.
I don't think anyone likes that. But when you're doing cold, it is because you just want to form that relationship. So if it's cold and you're just trying to get the first appraisal to give them some information and they say, oh, look, I'm not interested, I'm not selling, there is definitely a need to push a bit to try and help them understand that this information that you are giving is good. It is relative to you. I think that you will enjoy the information. And so pushing at that stage is okay because once they do agree to some information, they then lighten up for your next call. And every call we make, it is either to establish a relationship, which is cold, or it is to further a relationship. So if we can get past that cold and give them something and do something and create just that mini relationship, then next time we have something with them and we're just trying to further that. And every time from then on, when we're in contact with that person, our relationship gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and the trust builds stronger and stronger. And trust is the main reason why they will go with you in the end, because if they trust you, they feel that you will do an honest, good job for them. They're just going to be more comfortable to do business with
So
you.
the guy or girl in real estate that puts the most jelly beans in the jar of trust wins. Phone call, touch point, frequency, jelly bean goes in. Jelly bean goes in. Ends up putting 30 jelly beans. By the 31st, we've got amazing chemistry. That's what we've got to do, and let go of the addiction that you're going to get something out of every phone call. It would be remiss of me not to tell the people the 3 reasons why we do call. We call to, number 1, either get an appointment. Number 2, to qualify and work out where are they in box and dice. Should they be in this section? Have I progressed them to here? Are they a 1-year seller? Are they a 3-month seller? So it's there to qualify. And the 3rd reason, it's a touch point. It's frequency builds trust. It's another touch point. I'm earning the right to be your agent because I'm your agent before you need an agent.
That's it. Becoming their agent before they need the agent. That is the key. And that is the key to all of this pipeline building and everything. Is you want people when they're going to sell just to think, bang, I'm going to call Daniel because he's a legend. He's been in touch with me all the time. And you may not win it. It's not a guarantee.
No.
But your foot's in the door. You're getting an opportunity. From there, you got to be great at your scripts. You got to have some profile and results. And, it snowballs from there. Mate, good question, actually, I thought of whilst talking about associates and that sort of thing, because I get this question a lot and people say, oh, what should I start with? An admin person or a prospector? And I'm like, well, it's probably both. But what kind of person, like personality or person, should an agent go for their first team member, do you think?
Okay, so Dan, there is no 100% answer, and I'll tell you why. If you are at an office that's got a reasonable level of admin support, and you are also you just get it, your tech ability allows you to do things very quickly on the run, I wouldn't get an admin person. I would get someone that is income producing. I would get someone that can actually help you get more listings and sales by creating appointments through prospecting and also assisting with your buyer overflow. That's what I would do. However, if you are one of these people that pulls their hair out looking at their computer system and their admin is all over the place and you're in a real estate company that has very little admin support, I would probably go for an admin person because they will take away the stuff that's doing your head in and you will be able to do more real prospecting. But maybe an option is, hey, I get an admin person offshore that costs me 20, 25 grand a year, and I get another person that's onshore that is going to be coming to my appointments. They're in the building and they're costing me more like $60,000. So all up, it's an $85,000 investment. And I've got a team and there's 3 of us all of a sudden.
Yeah, I think that's the new approach that a lot of agents are adapting to is, using offshore and onshore and taking advantage of that cheaper labor of admin tasks.
So I've got a client, Peter Diamantidis at Ray White St. Mary's. Is a very good agent. He himself has got a great business, but he's also got his own EBU. He does about 200 deals a year. He is using Filipino offshore for telephone calls. I've seen the spreadsheet and he's really comfortable with it because, as you know, Filipinos speak to Filipinos in English. It's not like in Bali where they speak to each other in Balinese. It's the way that they converse. So that is even an option, but I would feel like your associate or your admin person that's more sales based, and I have red PA, blue PA. Blue is sales based, red is admin based. I think your blue one should be onshore because they can be with you at opens, they can be with you in the office doing things.
Yeah, absolutely. You can get the offshore to do calls if their English is very good. So you just got to get the right person, very good English, and then they have to be trained really well. So you got to spend a lot of time doing the training, and that's where a lot of agents will fall short. You can't pluck someone from overseas. It's not their mother language, and go get them to do these calls and expect to get great results when they don't speak the real estate language either.
Correct.
So a lot of training would have to go into that. So let's move on to the more experienced agent. The what's the third?
Pinnacle.
Pinnacle. So a Pinnacle agent.
That's you.
was once upon a time. Yeah, it's been a few years, but I work with a lot of Pinnacle agents now. But Pinnacle agents, they've got the same thoughts as the guy in the middle and the guy at the start. How can I do better? How can I produce more? How can I reduce costs of my team? How can I, get more market share? They're just in a different race, but they have all the same thoughts.
They have the same thoughts and they have the same challenges, and they do go from the heights of exhilaration to the depths of depression in 24 hours, like they all do, like we all do. However, they're already doing 5-6 sales every month. So what they're doing is using listings to get listings. What they're doing is working on their team because they've got more team members. What they're doing is working on their brand, offline, online, traditionally. They're smashing it on video. They're doing everything. But for them, their biggest thing is they're going from $1 million to $2 million. They're not going from 300,000 to 700,000, right? They already know the whole 4 foundations. They're all good there. And for them, it's intelligently using their resources as well, because they've got to turn around and say, what will I do with my $30,000 marketing budget I'm going to allocate this year, right? They're making sure that they use that money intelligently as an investment in the profits. So it's quite different. But I also got to tell you, a lot of these people are also looking at things like financial investments, and they're also looking at trying to have a better life off the park. Because by that stage, you know what I mean? It's like, hey, I've got kids now, right? I've got stuff I've got to go to. So they have got same, but they also have additional issues.
What talking of agents, I heard you talking about marketing, because I don't think agents spend enough on personal marketing. We get our VPA, and that advertises us, and we've got our signboards up, and we've got our realestate.com ads. But I don't think agents invest enough of their own money into marketing. How much do you reckon agents should invest?
So if you look at marketing, it's two types: vendor paid, which is marketing that is attached to a property, and there's agent paid. Vendor paid should be 100% funded by the vendor. That's the marketing. It should be a revenue neutral position. Agent paid, it's you opening up your wallet to actually say, in addition to all the brand I get because my vendors have paid it, I will actually complement that. I will add to it, not replace it. It's not or, it's and.
Yes.
So if you're writing $1 million, I think it's got to be somewhere around the 5%.
That's what I reckon.
Right? 50 grand, right? Put 50,000. It's not a cost, Dan. It's an investment in the profits. I mean, if you don't spend that 50, you're giving Anthony Albanese 25 of it anyway.
You know, the fucking crazy thing is that most agents who are earning over $1 million, most of them spend less than 10 grand on their own marketing. It's really weird. It's really weird that like that's 1%. You know, when a TV ad, like a car ad, let's say Toyota's making a car ad, you know, they spend something like 10% of the cost is made on the ad. They spend 10 times the amount on getting the ad out there, on putting it on the channels and all of that. And then with agents, they earn so much money, but they'll spend 1% on getting themselves out there.
Look, it's terrible. You know what's happened? They've been spoiled by vendor paid advertising. Yeah. They've been spoiled. No, they can get all the money that's going toward the ad, that promotes me. No, it does not. Get yourself out there on billboards, on bus shelters, sponsor movie nights, go to your local soccer team, rugby team, tennis club. There's 400 kids there. That means there's 400 kids. There's 800 parents, right? So there's so many things that you could be doing. And I think the problem is a lot of people that are agents think, oh, I'm not the owner of the whole company. Yes, you are. If you're in real estate sales, you're the CEO. You actually are the owner of the business.
You're the owner of your patch.
Correct.
Your company is not the owner of your patch. You as the agent, you're making that investment. We got to wrap it up really quick, but I want to get your thoughts on some easy things that agents can do on social media these days to get a bit of cut through in their area. There's a lot of agents say, oh, I don't do social media well, or, and I think that's just a total load of shit. I reckon there's things that every agent can do, which don't take too much time, not too difficult, which can get them some cut through in their marketplace outside of doing property videos. Are there 3 things that you can think of, or even one good one, that agents can do today to save time, but get some effective marketing out there on social media?
Okay. Let me give you 2 to 3.
Yep.
The first one, 100%, is start interviewing your seller, your vendor, the day their property sold, while excitement is high and they're pumped, on an Instagram live. They request live, they jump on, because Dan, the minute they jump on, all their friends, all their followers are notified. So essentially, their cousin gets notified, oh, they're online. they're watching the live and they're there saying, I just sold my home with Dan. Dan, you got me an amazing number. And then you're saying, what was the experience like? And they're talking about how good you are, because they wouldn't be interviewed if you knew that they weren't that happy. So what happens if they got 500 friends? That's 500 people that are hearing the amazing experience they got out of Plum Property and Dan. That is the equivalent of the barbecue conversation 30 years ago, except 500 people hear it.
I love that. And you know what? That's so easy to do. All you need is an iPhone. You don't even necessarily need someone to hold it if you've got a little tripod, all right? And that's it. That's all,
100%.
that's all you need. Like, and a lot of people will avoid doing that. Oh, I need a videographer to, oh, I can't organize a video. You don't need a videographer. It's Facebook or Instagram Live. The algorithm works more for you when you do those live ones, so it gets it out to everyone. And the more raw it is, the better. Sometimes those testimonials that come across when it's like, oh, Daniel was just amazing selling my home. We didn't think it was going to be so good, and then and it's obviously just this stage thing, but a good raw one is so much more genuine.
And I have to say, Dan, right now, a really good tech piece to buy is the Meta glasses that have come out for $450. You can get them from the OPSM shop. They're amazing. In fact, I have got them in my bag, and maybe you can actually take a photo of them, and maybe if they're in this video as a attachment or something, they are in my bag. These Meta glasses,
I haven't seen them.
these Meta glasses, is my bag out there? No, it's not there. So they're basically normal glasses.
Yeah.
And what happens is they tape everything. They're $450. Just imagine, I finish an auction and I go straight to my vendors. I've got the glasses on. I said, guys, what do you think of the experience? And they say, oh, I can't believe it. Did we really get that price? Yeah, that's what it sold for. You can see, oh man, that's so good. We're going to actually end up probably now going to the next suburb because we can actually afford it. And it's all captured. Now, you can't do that on a mobile phone, because you pull out your mobile phone, oh, they freeze straight away.
Exactly. That is so much better. If they don't know they're on, like they're being recorded.
I tell them afterwards.
Yeah, of course. You tell them afterwards. You don't go and post it without telling them. But if they don't know, like when you press that record and you're holding the camera up and go, okay, I'm going to do a Facebook Live, instantly they're worried about what they're saying. Am I saying the right thing? You know?
Yeah.
And it changes the tone and you know.
So you got to get them, because I reckon it's going to make the whole thing more authentic. But the second thing, Dan, I want to say that I think you could be doing on social that will make a big, big difference is go to your local council, get a newsletter. They provide one every month. It's on the website. Their local news. What's the local council in this area?
Just the local Brisbane City Council.
Brisbane City Council. You go onto it, you get their newsletter, and then what you do is, hey, it's Tom Panos here giving you this month's community news for what's happened in Brisbane City. They've done all the work. They're the script writers, and you're reading it out, and you're positioning yourself as, geez, this guy's right across our community. He knows that's everything that's going on. One press of a button, monthly newsletter off their website. I would be doing that. And then the third piece I would be doing 100% is I'd be doing a lot of green screen posts.
Yeah.
Where you basically are not creating content, you're a content curator. You're getting other people's content, news.com, Telegraph, AFR, Herald Sun. You put the story behind you and say, hi, it's Tom Panos here. Albo's just bought a new house for $4.3 million. Have a look, those beautiful water views. Listen, it's a private matter. Let him enjoy it. But the timing of him buying this home during the housing crisis, not a good look. Those sorts of things go off.
I see you doing those sorts of posts with news behind you all the time. It's so easy to make. You know what I mean?
30 seconds.
30 seconds. You can do them for your listings and sales instead of making a really good property video with the videographer. If the owner won't pay for one of those, or you don't have the time or the budget, literally a photo of the property and your little faces down there, and just talk about how good it is. That's still good content.
Man, listen. I'm talking to the GOAT. You're the GOAT of social media. You have learned something very intelligent, and that is that people are sick of us saying I'm number one. They're sick of hearing crushing it, sick of hearing $1 million agent, sick of hearing rate my agent number one area, blah, blah, blah. You've learned how to make fun of yourself and the industry, and that's what people like. They like that because they know even the agent's laughing at the agents. That's how you get people to like you, because you've got to move away from this. Look, doctors don't do it. Hashtag 10 patients today, hashtag best week. Yet we seem to do it in real estate.
I know. It's the problem that we live amongst. But, mate, we do have to wrap it up. This has been so awesome. I can't wait to have you on again. I'll probably see you in a few months, and we'll do another round. Thank you, Tom Panos.
Thank you, Dan Lee.
All right. Thank you for tuning into the Get Keen podcast. If today's episode inspired you, please show your support with a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And make sure you subscribe on your favorite platform too. Don't stop there. Join our community of forward thinkers by connecting with me on social media at Dan_Lee_Plum. I'm looking forward to exploring more strategies and insights with you on your journey to the top. Until next time, keep getting keen.